Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Fetty Wap. Now, it seems like when it comes to Fetty Wap's career, it's probably one of the fastest rise and falls in rap history. And I'm talking about the heights of rap that he went to. Like Trap Queen was being played everywhere. He was pretty much a household name. He had features with Drake, just doing it big, bringing up his whole crew. But since then, only a few months later, seemed like Fetty Wap could not catch a break. At least he couldn't catch a hit out here. And that thing then turned around completely on him, man. He went from great success to running into legal issues after legal issues. And today is some of the same because it's being reported that Fetty Wap then got locked up again, y'all. And this time it's connected to the case that he caught just last year. Now, before we get to the specifics and talk about all the details, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about Fetty Wap. Now, Fetty Wap seems to have been in some trouble lately, man. You know, and it ain't even seems. He's been in some trouble. Like, for those of you who don't remember, Fetty Wap got arrested last year at the end of the year, around October time frame, when he was going on the stage for Rolling Loud. Like right before he went on the Rolling Loud stage in New York, he got picked up by the police and he was hit with some drug-related charges that, suggested he was a part of this drug distribution ring. Now, this was news to a lot of people because most people associate Fetty Wap with more your poppy, happy type of rap tunes, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't seem like the prosecutors in this case feel that it's all good on Fetty Wap's side. Now, let me reference this story from vulture.com that broke today, and it talks about why Fetty Wap was arrested today. And it says that he was allegedly violating the conditions of his release after the arrest that he received back last year. Now, in the headline, it says this. It says, Fetty Wap arrested for allegedly violating release conditions. Now, the release conditions for people who catch federal crimes and federal charges are a lot stricter in these cases than most other cases on the state level, right? And it seemed like for Fetty Wap, this is the same thing, man. Like there's things that he couldn't do, there's things that he could do. And lately in these cases involving rappers, you can see that it usually puts a damper on their lifestyle that it's hard for them to hold up to. They like their freedom and doing things their way. Like you see with the NBA YoungBoy situation that's going on currently and a lot of other situations that are going on out there allegedly. You know what I mean? Now, in the story, it starts off by saying this. It says Fetty Wap was arrested on Monday, August 8th, 2022, for allegedly violating conditions of pretrial release in his ongoing federal drug case. The U.S. Attorney's Office for Eastern District of New York confirmed this. So basically, they're saying from his ongoing federal drug case, he broke the conditions of that release. He did something that he knew he wasn't supposed to, and we're going to get to that in a second. It involves another person who might have, been in on this situation with Fetty Wap. That's to be determined. Now, during a proceeding this afternoon, his bond was revoked, meaning he will be detained pending trial. So that means that Fetty Wap was actually in court today. And during the proceeding, they told him that his bond would be revoked. Now, he might not have thought that was coming or even knew that was coming, so this was probably a surprise to Fetty Wap and his team. Now, the Trap Queen rapper, whose legal name is Willie Jr. Maxwell II, stands accused of threatening a person via FaceTime, according to court documents. Now, the only way that somebody, from my understanding, could get FaceTime videos is if the other person is recording it. You know what I mean? Like during the time that the transfer of the FaceTime is going on, I didn't think there was any way of finding out or knowing what's being communicated because that's being talked about in a lot of other cases, right? But it looks like in this case, the other person was recording Fetty Wap the whole time they were on the phone. Now, during a December 11th, 2021 call, Maxwell, aka Fetty Wap, allegedly possessed a gun, threatened to kill him, and called an individual a rat, despite the fact that this was in direct violation of both state law and conditions of his release. So they're saying that Fetty Wap FaceTimed somebody thinking that they were a rat, or calling them a rat allegedly, right? And then went to brandishing a weapon and telling the person that he would kill them for being a rat. Now, your better sense would tell you, okay, if I think this person is some sort of informant or they're telling on people and stuff like that, why in the world would I go on the phone with them in the first place, especially a FaceTime, unless they thought, the other person wouldn't dare record it. But I mean, if you already think that about the person, what would stop them from recording the whole conversation? And it seems that's the case here with Fetty Wap. Now, the story goes on to say this. It says, authorities claim that they have a video recording of this FaceTime. Now, in order for them to get a video recording of the FaceTime, either his phone was cloned or either the person was recording it. You know what I mean? Now, Maxwell allegedly held the gun, pointing it toward the person identified in court papers as John Doe. So they're already listing this person in the court papers that were obtained by all the media outlets on this situation as John Doe. And they're saying that Fetty Wap held the gun, pointing it toward the screen at the person and letting them know that, basically threatening the person. And of course, that's against the law anyway, threatening somebody with a weapon or over the phone or whatever. So be it, man, that's against the law regardless. And what's crazy about this situation is whether he knew this was coming or not, as soon as he showed up to court to the proceeding, they let him know like, yo, your bond has been revoked and now it's time to go to jail, man. And this Fetty Wap story keeps getting crazier and crazier and it keeps going downhill. Now, Fetty Wap had been out of jail on a $500,000 bond. Fetty Wap, the feds allege, was a, in quotes, kilogram level redistributor for the trafficking organization. Now, 6 people have been charged in his alleged drug conspiracy. And if you remember, there was one person who actually worked for the jail. They were like a corrections officer who was also, wrapped up in this situation and arrested and charged. And prosecutors believe it was some sort of elaborate scheme and Fetty Wap was somewhat at the head, you know what I mean? Allegedly, right? They're saying that he was a kilogram level redistributor. So that's playing with the big boys and that's looking at a lot of time, to be real with you, man. Now, also it goes on to say that Fetty Wap's arrest last year came hours before he was scheduled to take the stage at Rolling Loud in New York City. A federal law enforcement source previously told Vulture that he was taken into custody at Citi Field in Queens, where he was going to perform at 4:45 p.m. So it looks like, man, they had plotted out when to grab Fetty Wap. They thought the best time was to grab him before going on stage. And although that seems embarrassing for the artist at the time, but for the feds, it's probably the best time or the most convenient way to pick up an artist if they're involved in one of these, drug conspiracy charges or any charges on the federal level, right? Because you know exactly where he's going to be and at what time, you know what I mean? And it looks bad on Fetty Wap. So I want to ask y'all some questions before we get up out of here. Do y'all think that Fetty Wap's career going downhill led him to do other things outside of hip hop that got him in this position that he's in today? Or is it a possibility that he's been, drawn into all this and these are some trumped up charges and Fetty Wap really doesn't have anything to do with this at all? Now with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.